The next step in the process will be to align and then create a master file for each filter of the images you've taken of the target. So to do this, you want to go to File, and instead of just opening, you want to import image sequence. You're going to navigate to a folder with your calibrated images. So blue, green, loom. I'm going to go to green, hit calibrated, and I'm just going to click the first file there. Click open. Now, we'll have the sequence options. It'll say number of images, and that should be the number of images in the file, the starting image and the increment. And you want to click use virtual stack and click OK. Now it's uploaded all four of my images. It might be more or less for you. And if you notice, the stars don't always stay in the same position. This is why we have to align them. So to do this, we're going to go to Process, Align Stack using WCS or Aperture, and click OK. You want your first slice to be 1 and your last slice to be the number of images you imported. These don't matter right now. We can change them later and leave all the settings the same. Click OK. And now you're going to select some bright stars. You can zoom in here and click them. You can also change the aperture size if they're not working for you with the circle here. And just select as many bright stars as make sense. Make sure there's no other stars within that aperture area. I sometimes like to do it at different parts of the image. Select one more down here, and we're going to zoom out and I'll right click. And if they've all aligned correctly, you'll get this message: virtual stack alignment complete, align images are named, now saved in subdirectory aligned. So now if we go back into that folder, we were in the green, calibrated, and now we have aligned. Now these are the images we're going to be using for the next step. Before we do that, let's align all of our other images. Close the one window and go back to the main one and repeat the process for the remaining filters. Now that you have aligned, you can create a master light file for each of your filters. All you have to do is you want to import your image sequence. So I'm going and go to your aligned file because these are the ones we're using now. Click open. We did before, use virtual stack. Okay. Now we're going to image stack Z project. Now this first slice is this, so we're going to stop at 12, and you want to change it to median. All you have to do is click OK, and you will have a single photo that has basically combined all the photos that you aligned, and they're stacked together to make one detailed photo. Now this one doesn't automatically save, so you're going to have to save it as, and I suggest saving it as a fits. But if you're using a program that doesn't have fits, you can always save it as a different one, but fits works the best. And I am going to save this into a new masters file within Astrophoto data. So this one is loom master loom. And you're going to close this and repeat it for all your other photos. Once we have finished creating our master light frames, there's one more step to do before we can move on and edit in GIMP, and that is to align the master light frames with each other. This process is the exact same thing we did when we aligned the light frames of each filter with each other before creating the masters. So you want to import the image sequence, which is easy as going into your masters, clicking on the first file and importing those 4 masters you just created. Click OK, and then you're going to go up to Process, WCS Apertures, select a bunch of stars with your aperture that you're going to use to align, right click, and then watch it go. Once it's completed, it will have created another folder within your masters called Aligned. The 4 files in here are the ones you'll be importing into GIMP and using to create your final image. You are now ready to import these files into GIMP and start editing your beautiful multicolored astro image.